LBC News.
Well, it's just gone 9:34 here on LBC News, and we've been hearing earlier this week that the former Health Secretary, Matt Hancock, would stand down. He was standing down at the next election. He will not be standing as an MP. His announcement came as some local party members said he wasn't fit to represent them. In a letter, the West Suffolk Conservative Association president urged the Chief Whip, Simon Hart, to not readmit Mr Hancock as a Tory MP. He was suspended from the party for joining the I'm a Celebrity show and is currently an independent MP. He said he was going on the show to raise awareness around dyslexia. It's a very important issue for him. He said he would look, in his resignation letter, he said he would look forward to championing the issues that are dear to his heart, including better support for dyslexia children. Well, let's talk to Kate Griggs, the CEO and founder of Made by Dyslexia. A very good morning to you, Kate. Thanks for joining us.
Good morning. It's great to be with you.
So do you think Matt Hancock has done enough to raise awareness of dyslexia?
Well, he's trying to push the bill through Parliament, and I think if that does go through, that's one big step forward for all dyslexic children and their families. But I think there's so much more that government could be doing and aren't doing, and I think it's a case of everybody rallying together to realise this is a quiet social injustice that needs to be sorted out, really. So whatever he does, fantastic. Maybe he can do more from, if he's not affiliated to a party, perhaps, let's hope.
Yeah, and he's calling for all children to be screened for dyslexia before the end of primary school. What difference would that make?
It would make a huge difference because only 1 in 5 dyslexic children are being identified at school, which is an absolute disgrace, to be honest with you, because it's very cheap and easy to screen. We as a charity have produced free training to help teachers support dyslexic children. So there's no reason why we're not routinely screening and helping these kids, because when we don't, their future is not bright, and when we do, they can actually go on to achieve great things. So it's vitally important they do that.
How would it happen? What's the practicalities around it? I mean, you said it was fairly easy and cheap. Is it quick? Is it simple to do? Would it be complicated for schools?
It's super simple. You can buy a licence for the whole school, which is hundreds of pounds, not thousands of pounds. You can screen children in whole year groups, and it's sort of 30 minutes computerised based screener. It's really, really simple to do. So, and a lot of schools already do that. All independent schools will screen their children, and a lot of really good primary schools are already doing that. It just needs to be mandatory. So it's something that's happening across the board.
Matt Hancock, now an independent MP for West Suffolk, he actually told the Chamber that dyslexics up and down the country are called lazy or stupid, and that's something I can relate to. It's something that happened to me when I was at school, and I don't think I ever got the dyslexia test, so there's still a question mark over my head as to whether or not I am dyslexic. I've always felt that potentially I could be, but I've never looked into it in any further detail. But this is an extraordinary thing that's happening to children up and down the land.
It is, and I think, by the way, there's a really good test on our website. There's just like a quiz which will tell you whether you are or not. And so many journalists are, because we're great communicators. But I think the thing that is really, really worrying for the UK, if we don't get our schools to address this, is that we know from all of our research that dyslexic thinking skills, which are all the soft skills like creativity, people skills, communication skills, they're absolutely vital for the workplace. So if we're not picking these children up and we're not giving them the support they need, we're not going to be able to tap into that amazing talent that UK PLC really needs at the moment. So it's something that both parties at the moment are just banging on about doing more research. We don't need more research. We've known for 100 years how to spot and support these kids. If you've got the money to pay for it, your parents can pay for a screener and pay for the support. And that just has to be in all schools, because otherwise we're never going to level up and we're not going to be tapping into this amazing talent. So it's a big issue for everybody.
Why aren't the government and why aren't education specialists and those who are in charge of our children's education taking more of a priority on this? Do you think there's just too many issues to be dealing with at the moment, or is there something else behind it?
You know, I don't know. I mean, if you're an optimist, you can say that they just haven't connected the dots on it and realised how big an issue it is. Actually, the last Labour government under Tony Blair and then Gordon Brown did do an official research. We were campaigning for it at the time. They did an official review into dyslexia and came up with the suggestion that all teachers should be trained and schools should be screening for dyslexia. So we do know what should be happening. I think they're just kicking it into the long grass and not wanting to address it, to be honest with you. But as campaigners, we're pushing very hard that they do, because the solutions are inexpensive in form of screening and free in terms of our training. In fact, every single teacher in New York City has been trained, and we're moving across the US at great speed. So I think the UK just needs to catch up.
Yeah, absolutely. And just briefly, if you will, Kate, tell us a little bit about your organisation Made by Dyslexia.
So we're a global charity, and we have two goals. The first one is to help the world to understand all the amazing things that come with being dyslexic, because it isn't just about our challenges. We have these huge talents too. And then the second goal is to train every school and every workplace so they can spot and support dyslexics and their brilliant thinking.
Well, great to talk to you, Kate. Thank you so much for joining us here on LBC News. That's Kate Griggs, the CEO and founder of Made by Dyslexia, and you can find out more on their website, madebydyslexia.org.